Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to do a video in collaboration with one of my friends on YouTube. I actually met this gal, gosh, how long ago has it been? 1 or 2 years ago via Makeup Social. We collaborated with a group of other ladies on a video a couple years ago, and we've been talking about doing a collaboration ever since. So finally the time has come. So I'm collaborating with Makeup and SFC for this video, or Natasha, and we are doing half face drugstore, half face high-end. So this side of my face is done with drugstore makeup, and this side of my face is done with high-end makeup. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Go over to her channel, like, subscribe, comment. She has a really good channel. She's very active on YouTube and Instagram. I'll leave all of her information and her video linked down in the down bar for you guys. Go and show her some love. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. Hey guys, so I'm going in with the Becca Backlight priming filter on the high-end side of my face, and then on the drugstore side of my face, I'm going to be going in with the Maybelline Master Prime Primer in the Blur and Illuminate number 200. And to me, I find that both of those actually feel very similar on the face, and they actually both have very similar lighting properties and have a similar scent. Now for the eyes, I'm going in with the Urban Decay Primer Potion in Age Define, I think is what it is. And then on the drugstore side of my face, I'm actually going in with the Elizabeth Mott Eye Primer. I've gotten Elizabeth Mott in my Ipsy bags before. I think it is of drugstore price, if I'm not mistaken. But please don't quote me on that. But that's the only eye primer I had. Next, for concealing, correcting under my eyes, I'm going in with Benefit's Erase Paste on the high-end side of my face. And I'm going in with NYX Dark Circle Corrector in medium on the drugstore side of my face. So I just pack that on there in all the dark areas I have under my eyes, which I have hereditary dark circles and kind of like a sullen, sunken in spot. So I like to put quite a bit of corrector on there before I go in with my foundation and concealer. So I'm just going to go ahead and blend that out with my ring fingers. Typically I don't do this, but I'm changing it up. Next, going in with MAC Nourishing Waterproof Foundation in the color NC42 on the high-end side of my face. And then for the drugstore side of my face, I'm going in with Loreal Infallible Pro Matte in the color 106 Sun Beige. To me, these foundations are the same. The color, the consistency, the smell, like everything about these two foundations is darn near the same. I love them both. They're both great if you're on a budget. Definitely get the L'Oreal. You won't be sorry. They both wear the same, look the same, and perform almost identically. So yeah, definitely if you're on a budget, go ahead and get the L'Oreal. If you're not on a budget, get them both because they're both great. I use one for more like everyday, and then I use the MAC Nourishing Waterproof more for like nighttime, or if I know I'm going to be outside a lot. So next, going to my concealers, I'm going to be using the NYX HD Concealer in CW04 on the drugstore side of my face, and I'll be going in underneath the eye, around my nose where I get some hormonal redness, trying to put a little bit to highlight the center of my nose and my forehead. And I'm just going to use a brush to blend this out. I'm using a e.l.f. concealer brush. Not my favorite brush for blending out concealer, but mostly all of my brushes are very dirty and I need to wash them, so I'm working with the least dirty of all the brushes. Anyways, so what I'll be doing on the high-end side of my face is I'll be going in with the Kat Von D new Locket Tattoo Concealer, and I'm not certain of the color. I will put that down in the down bar. Now these two products, to me, the texture is a dupe for one another, very, very similar, but the color was a little bit different. The NYX is a little bit more yellowy, a little more brighter than the Kat Von D. But they both have the same level of coverage in my opinion. As you can tell, the Kat Von D has more of like a peachier undertone versus the yellow undertone of that NYX concealer. But doing the same thing, putting it under my eye, around the hormonal redness on my nose, down the bridge of my nose, and on my forehead, and then just using that same brush to blend it out because, like I said, I am limited on clean brushes currently. So just after you've gone ahead and got all of that blended, we shall move on to the next step. So next, going in with my under eye, I'm going to be using my Marc Jacobs big palette. I can't remember the name of it, using the deepest shade, and then going in with my Wet n Wild palette in Dulce de Leche. The colors are a hair off, but ultimately they do give the same look under the eye, both very smooth and airbrushed. Going in then with my setting powder for my face, I'm going to be using my MAC Studio Fix in NC42 for the high-end side of my face, and then for the drugstore side of my face, going in with the Maybelline Fit Me powder in the color 310 Sun Beige to set the drugstore side of my face. These powders both set very similar. They both set to a foundation-like finish, and I love them both. So for the eyes, I'm going to be using the NYX, or it's not NYX, sorry, the Urban Decay Naked Smokey palette, and for the drugstore side of my face, going in the Revealed Smoke palette by BH Cosmetics. These palettes are identical, with the exception that BH Cosmetics has a few more colors in them. So I'm going in with the skin colored brown shade in both of the palettes for the crease, making sure that I clean my brush off between going back and forth from the palettes, and just putting that into the crease of my eye for a transition color. I did notice with the BH palette, you did have to kind of layer the colors on a little bit more, but ultimately the end result is identical to the Naked Smokey palette. I actually just purchased the Naked Smokey palette so I could do this video and compare it to that Revealed palette. Ulta had them on sale for half off, so you couldn't pass up getting another eyeshadow palette. So next I'm going in with the navy grayish shade in the palette and kind of just adding a little bit more depth to the crease of my eye, because we're going to go on with an even darker shade here in a minute. Clean the brush off. As you can see, my face is getting kind of tired of cleaning the brush off. Now I'm gone into the Revealed palette to do the same thing to this eye. Now this color actually did have quite a bit of color payoff, and I didn't have to dip back in as many times. In fact, I have to end up going back off camera to touch up my eye with the Urban Decay palette, just to add some more smoke to it. So now going in with the deep navy shade in the Urban Decay Smoke palette, putting that on the outer and inner third of the eye, we're going to end up creating a bridge between those two portions of the eye throughout the crease, just to kind of blend those two shades together and create a halo effect for the color we'll be laying down in the center of the eye. So cleaning that brush off yet again, now we're going into the Revealed Smoky palette by BH Cosmetics and doing the exact same thing to this eye that we did the other. The only difference is I do have to dip back into that dark navy shade a few extra times to get it to look identical to the other eye, but that's okay. You know, if you're on a budget, totally fine. Like I said, you will get the exact same look between both of these palettes, no matter which one you have. You're going to have the exact same look. You just might have to dip in a few extra times when using that Revealed Smoky palette. So next, going into the Urban Decay palette, I'm using the metallic bronze shade in there to add color to the center of our lid where we left that blank for the halo eye effect. And just go ahead and layer that on to the level of intensity that you want, and just make sure you blend it out a little bit with the navy shadow that's already on there. And then doing the same thing with the BH Cosmetics Revealed palette, adding that on the center of the lid and making sure it is blended in well with those shadows that are already placed. So next I'm going into the Urban Decay palette, picking up the pinky metallic shade and just adding a little bit to the direct center of the eyelid to add a little bit of a pop to that bronze color we put on. Now when I'm doing that in the revealed palette, I did have to, again, you guessed it, dip my brush into there a few extra times to get it to be as metallic looking as the other one. Next, going in with eyeliner. You guys know I can't do this on camera, so I used the Tartist liner for the high-end side of my face, and then I used a Jessie Girl black liner for the Drugstore side of my face. Next, I'm just going in with the lower lash line with the same navy blue shade that we put on the inner and outer third of our upper lid. And next is brows. Do not mind how my glasses are hanging down my nose because I am blind as a bat and can't see to do my brows, and this is the best way for me to see to do them. So for the high-end side of my face, I'm going in with the Anastasia Brow Definer and just drawing the line underneath, drawing a line on top, filling it in. Pretty simple, pretty basic, but wanted you guys to see me do this so you can see that this eyebrow pencil and the one by NYX that I am about to use is very, very, very similar. Now the one by NYX I'm using, it is called the Sculpt and Highlight. So one side of it has like a highlighting stick and the other side is the brow color. Only differences with these two, this one kind of has a thick round point. So it is a little bit more challenging to use, but I do like the color that it is. The brow definer is just super easy and awesome, but they're both really good. Again, if you're on a budget, they're both very similar. So for lip, I'm going to be using MAC Heroine for the high-end side of my face. And then for the drugstore budget-friendly side of my face, I'm going in to use a LA Colors matte lipstick, and the color is called Entice. There is a slight difference between these two, and I think I figured out why. The last time I used the LA Colors, I actually had it on with like a darker lip liner, and I didn't realize I did not wipe off the excess darkness that was on that lipstick. Otherwise, I do think these shades would be almost even more spot on than what they already are. But if you didn't really pay much attention that I have had two lipsticks on, and you didn't know this video was about dupes and high-end versus drugstore, I don't think you would notice it that much. So we're going back in to bronze the face with that Marc Jacobs palette on the high-end side, and then going in with the Wet n Wild palette on the drugstore side. Just blend that all in and watch me make my crazy faces. But again, this look, guys, is just basically show you how you don't have to spend an arm and a leg to get a fantastic, flawless looking makeup look. Not to say that I'm flawless, but you get what I'm saying. You can definitely be on a budget and still look great. So don't worry about going out there spending these crazy dollars on makeup if you don't have to. So going in for highlighting, I'm going to be using the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Trio palette, and I'm just mixing the two lightest shades together on the high-end side of my face to give a little bit of glow. I didn't want beaming from space, but just a little sheen to the top of my cheek. And then going in with the Wet n Wild highlighter, which in my opinion, I really honestly liked it a little bit more. They both have the same color, but I felt like I felt like Wet n Wild was actually a little bit more vibrant. So now I'm just going to be setting my brows with the Benefit Brow Definer, or is it called Brow Definer? What is it called? Give Me Brow. Sorry, my bad. Benefit Give Me Brow, the old packaging, and then going in on the drugstore side of my face with Ulta Brow Tint. The colors are slightly different, but they both set the brows really well. They don't feel like glue or anything. And guys, that's the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Go over to Makeup and SFC's channel and like and subscribe to her, and I'll see you next time.